Hey, welcome! Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to take one short, very specific marketing message and just pull it apart, piece by piece, to see exactly how its persuasive power is built. Okay, let's dive right in.
So here it is. This is the core promise of the message we're looking at. You can think of this sentence as the central pillar holding the whole thing up. It's absolutely packed with carefully chosen words, but here's the thing. It doesn't stand alone. We're going to unpack this promise by digging into how it's supported by all the text around it.
So, just to be clear, our goal today isn't to evaluate the service itself. Not at all. It's all about understanding the craft behind the communication. How is this message built to be so persuasive? We're going to look at its architecture, its blueprint really, word by word, right from the very beginning.
Every persuasive message needs a way in, right? An entry point. So let's look at the very first line of this ad, which basically functions as a simple open door for anyone reading it.
It just starts with a simple welcome. It's friendly, it's low pressure, and it's direct. It immediately establishes the brand and the location. This isn't a hard sell. It's an invitation into the world of psychic medium Brisbane, and it sets a really welcoming tone right from the jump.
So, after that friendly welcome, the message gets straight to the point what's actually being offered. Now, let's see how it defines what can be, a pretty abstract concept.
The message doesn't just leave the term readings vague and undefined. It immediately grounds it in these really universal human concerns. And that's such a crucial step, right? It makes an abstract service feel instantly relevant and deeply personal to whoever's reading it.
By listing out these 4 specific areas, the message connects with almost anyone's potential worries or questions. I mean, whether you're thinking about your job, your partner, or just what's next in life, one of these is probably going to resonate. It makes that abstract promise feel really tangible.
And then, attached to that whole description, is this small but super powerful phrase, simply and easily. These 2 words are doing a lot of heavy lifting here. They're designed to lower any hesitation, to address that potential fear that this whole process might be difficult or confusing. Instead, they promise the exact opposite.
Okay, now let's move on to how they build a foundation of trust. This is where the message uses very specific words to create a feeling of safety, of expertise, and a real emotional connection.
So the first pillar of trust comes from that core promise we looked at, highly qualified. This phrase is all about professional credibility. It works to counter any potential skepticism by suggesting expertise and a certain standard of quality. This is the message's appeal to your logic.
Next up, the full message uses these more emotional words to describe the medium. The first one is intuitive. This word really speaks to the unique skill being offered. It's not just about knowledge. It's about a deeper, almost special insight. It positions the service as something beyond the ordinary. This next word is so crucial. Compassionate. People seeking this kind of guidance are often in a vulnerable place, right? So this word promises empathy. It paints a picture of a safe, understanding, and completely non-judgmental environment for the client.
And finally, the message makes its absolute biggest promise with this descriptor, life-changing. This elevates the offer from just a simple consultation to a potentially transformative event. So the key takeaway here is, it's not just a reading. It's being framed as an experience that could change your entire path.
All right, now that the promise and the trust have been established, let's look at how the message uses social proof to connect directly with its target audience in Brisbane.
This line, which is pulled from the body of the message, is just classic social proof. By stating that many people in Brisbane have already done this, it totally normalizes the action. It implies, hey, you're not alone in your curiosity, and it helps reduce any potential stigma by creating the sense of a shared local trend.
So, after building the promise, establishing trust, and connecting with the local community, the message has one final job to do. It needs to prompt some kind of action.
The call to action is direct, it's clear, and it's simple. There's zero ambiguity. The URL even reinforces the Brisbane location and that core promise of clarity. If the rest of the message has done its job, this is the most logical next step for someone who's interested. And the whole message concludes with a simple thank you. It's polite, it's appreciative, and ends the whole interaction on a warm, friendly note. It's not a pushy closing, which just reinforces that compassionate and welcoming tone we saw throughout. And that brings us to the end of our breakdown. It's pretty fascinating, isn't it? To see how just a handful of carefully chosen words can be layered together to create such a persuasive effect.
So this leaves us with a question for you to think about. When you read any message, what are the words that truly build your trust?